Test of the KASH TV emergency broadcast system. This is only a test.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be watching some scary camping stories from the Fear Factory. You guys should go down and subscribe like I'm going to right now. And let's just jump right into the video. Let's go.
Around
Okay. He's hearing some strange noises.
Did you hear that?
Guessing that's not an animal. That'd be so scary if you're just hiking. I mean, if you're just like camping and then you're like in a car and then you just see someone like outside of your car just knocking on your window going, what would y'all do? Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Camping is meant to be an escape with peaceful nights under the stars and fresh air. But sometimes they take a turn for the worse. Tonight, we're exploring 6 of the most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera. Instances where campers' nights went completely wrong.
Completely wrong? How can a
Novus
camping
Wild
thing go
Camper
completely
is a
wrong?
channel run by a solo outdoorsman. It's usually all about quiet hikes, easygoing trips, and relaxed wild camping.
You know, I love watching those. Like, those are so fun to watch.
This one also started like any other overnight camp until the darkness brought something that didn't belong out there. December 20th, 2021. That day, Mad had been working nearby and decided to use the opportunity to spend a night on White Edge.
So I'm at the Peak District. Been working up this way, so thought I'd take the opportunity to come and sneak out into Mesna country.
They trespass?
A
Like you just
viewer
walked past
recommended
that
the
gate?
spot, and the evening
Well,
looked
it might just be a hiking
perfect,
trail.
bright moon, and a gentle chill in the air. He walked in along the trail, past pockets of low mist hanging in the valleys, and found a place to set up his tent.
That would
Once
look chill.
camp was up,
That looks chill,
he
though.
settled into his normal routine. Boiling water for his cheap teriyaki noodles, making coffee, and enjoying a bit of Jack Daniels while the temperature kept dropping. Around 9:30
Okay.
p.m., Mad crawled into his sleeping bag and
So now
tried
he's
to
getting
get some
set up
sleep.
for
That's when things changed.
to actually start.
He had camped
camping.
alone many times and knew what animals sounded like. But just as he started drifting off, a low, guttural cry echoed somewhere out in the dark.
Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night.
Okay. So I'm guessing
Fun.
he hasn't heard this before.
It wasn't a bark or a scream or anything familiar. It sounded heavier, rougher, like something struggling for breath between each sound. Mad stayed vigilant, trying to guess what it might be. The noise came again,
It's a werewolf,
this time
guys.
a little closer. He whispered into the camera, trying to stay calm, but his voice dropped as soon as the sound rolled across the hillside again.
Not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can.
So it's obviously not a
Yeah,
deer or
'cause
fox,
that
so
is
you already
really
heard
weird.
that. So what can it be? Guys, put down in the comments what you think it might be. Put it down in the comments.
Did you hear that? That's quite eerie. It does not sound like a deer. Definitely doesn't sound like a fox.
Like what I said.
He sat perfectly still, waiting for footsteps or movement outside the tent. But nothing came. Mad stayed zipped inside his tent, not eager to shine a light and find out what was outside his tent. The place was pitch black, and whatever made that noise was close enough to unsettle him in a way he hadn't felt before. He tried to settle down shortly after and muttered a half-joking line, but there was tension behind it.
I'm gonna zip up and put my earplugs in, I think. Try and get some sleep, and hopefully I'll still be here in the morning.
Would you guys ever like go camping like by yourself? Honestly, I don't think I would, because if I'm going camping and there's like bears, I'm not letting the bear get me first. Because if I'm with a friend, I'm a fast runner, right? So I run away, and if my friend starts to like, catch up with me, I'm pulling him back so the bear can get him, and then the bear will be eating him and getting full instead of me. Think about that. That's smart moves right there.
Something about that sound didn't sit right. By sunrise, he had already been up for hours. The night had dropped to around 2 degrees Celsius, and condensation covered the tent walls. The strange cry didn't return, but another odd sound took its place.
I'm acting like I've just woke up. It's about 7 o'clock. I've been up since 5. Just trying to get some morning shots, which I posted up on Instagram and Facebook. Don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's a very weird sounding bird. It sounds like a kookaburra with a sore throat.
I don't think it's a bird.
It's not going to do it now.
It was a harsh, rattling call from a bird he didn't recognize, at least nothing like the usual Peak District birds he was used to hearing. It stayed close to camp, repeating the same rough call until he started packing up. Morning light made the ridge look calm again, almost harmless. But the memory of that deep, guttural noise stayed in the back of his mind. He took one last look at where his tent had been, slung his pack over his shoulder, and headed back toward the car. The night had been creepy, and whatever had roamed out there made it very clear he wasn't alone. By the Curb, run by creator James Burton, is usually a relaxed van life channel.
So
his videos focus on travel, simple living, and the small everyday moments of life on the road. But this night in Sunderland turned into something he never thought he'd experience.
So the last one, it might have been like a person, like, you see those like skinwalkers? Like, it could have been like one of those, right? But I feel like it's like, sounds too much like a, I don't know what it could be. A werewolf.
January 16th, 2025. It was just after 5 a.m. when James hit the recording button on his camera, still shaken and trying to breathe normally.
And I have just had the most terrifying experience of my life. I'm only still just getting over it.
He'd been living in his van for 2 years without a single scary encounter, but what happened that night was unlike anything he'd ever experienced. That day, he'd driven to Sunderland to film his next vlog and picked a quiet lane outside the city. It was rural, with nothing but a farm and open ground nearby, and it seemed like the perfect overnight spot.
Okay.
There he spent the evening researching, editing, and getting ready for the next day's filming. And around midnight, he finally crawled into bed, expecting a normal night of sleep. That was when the banging started. There was a heavy thud that slammed right above his head, hard enough to shock him awake like someone had ripped him out of a dream.
You know what it's like when you're fast asleep and something jolts you so much, you don't know what planet you're on. It's like my soul left my body, my heart.
I've had one of
so I get something like, what's that? Who's that? What's going on? I didn't know where I was. And I pulled blind down. That was my first reaction. And there's a bloody face at the window. The most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me. A face up at my window.
He mentioned that the image hit him so hard it felt like his soul left his body. Even retelling it on camera gave him goosebumps. The yelling started up again, rambling things about mental health, voices in his head, things James couldn't quite piece together. For about half an hour, the man paced around the van, muttering, shouting, circling, and sometimes going silent long enough that James didn't know where he was.
That'd be so terrifying if you're just out at a place you've never been to before. Like out at a place you've never been to before, and then like someone just walks up to your your van and starts knocking. Like that'd be terrifying.
James sat there in the dark, listening, trying to stay calm. He peeked through the window once and could see the stranger standing a few feet away, talking to himself and acting erratically.
I'm guessing he's thinking that it's like one of his exes or something. Like that'd be my first thought.
I'm not the third door. I'm not the private rig. I'm not a first, it's an English footballer.
You just like can't
you know what I mean? You do when you put on the dead people who you've worked on them. Construct, I've never heard this one. I've got a new modern technology. You've got full stuff like this on there. You're a camera one, you're shutting out all
It wasn't the kind of situation where you open the door and have a conversation, not at 5 a.m., not alone, and not when someone has already slammed on your van hard enough to wake you out of dead sleep. For a moment, he considered starting the engine and driving off, but he was boxed in at a dead end. Even if he tried, the windows were fogged over from condensation, and he wouldn't be able to see a thing.
Yeah, like that wouldn't work.
Eventually, the stranger wandered down the lane again, shouting towards what sounded like another parked van in the distance.
Right, he's moved on, he's gone down there. I don't know if there's some more motorhomes down there that he's shouting at now. I think he's probably pretty harmless.
Yeah, because he didn't look like he had a weapon.
It just freaked me out though, that.
That's like so terrifying though.
I don't know what to do. I don't think I've got enough space to do a U-turn here.
Definitely not enough space.
I don't know if you can see him at distance.
Just imagine he just like turns around and starts darting at the van. That'd be terrifying.
Another van's come and he's buggered off now. I don't know what's going on down there. I think there's some sort of, I don't know, farm or depot or something like that.
An engine started somewhere out there, and for a while, it looked like the man was moving on. James stayed where he was, shaken and wide awake. There was no going back to sleep after that. He just sat at his table trying to calm down while his adrenaline finally dipped.
So I'm just hoping that he'll get fed up and bugger off.
Even hours later, he said his hands were still shaking. In 2 years of living in his van, nothing like this had ever happened. No break-ins, threats, or late-night banging on the walls. And certainly never a face staring through the window in the middle of the night.
Though.
The memory of that face at the window stayed with him.
It's true.
Something he never thought he'd see outside his own home on wheels. And something he hopes never to see again. Grizzly Gaz usually keeps his camping trips pretty straightforward. Grab the gear, head into the woods, make some food, and enjoy a quiet night out. But his October 30th, 2023 trip ended up being nothing like a normal camp. He went straight after work, trying to beat the dark while looking for a fallen tree he'd heard stories about. It was a place where pagans supposedly did
Heard
rituals.
stories.
Whether
like what?
that was true or just looked
Like what, horror stories? Because if there's ever like a horror story, I'm not going to that place.
talk, he wasn't sure. But the woods already felt a bit strange.
Oh yeah, heck no. Heck no. I'm not going to that.
Don't know, does this look like a pagan ritual site?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, it looks creepy.
Still, he found the spot, set up his tent, cooked some bacon and mash, and figured he'd chill for the night. Once the sun finally disappeared, though, the whole place changed. It went from creepy to deeply unsettling in minutes.
Oh, it doesn't half look
Why'd the narrator voice just go like really deep?
creepy down here.
Because it was getting creepy.
Tree looks like a skeleton, and we're all like bivvies in it.
His light kept messing up. Every leaf that fell sounded like something walking, and the trees looked like shapes in the dark. Even with his dog Fendi there, the strange feeling lingered.
That's so
Definitely
terrifying.
feels creepy
Like
in
that's
here.
so eerie. Because like it's completely dark. You're in the woods, and wherever you flash your light, it's like barely putting any light. Oh heck no. Oh heck no. They look like they buried a body there.
It does feel creepy down here, but that's because I've got light shining in my face and I can't see out, and there's a slight breeze in the air, so there's lots of things just dropping from trees because it's autumn now, so
Worst time to go. Because if there like a leaf falls on like your shoulder, you think someone's grabbing you. Terrifying.
all sorts of stuff
Terrifying.
dropping out over here in front of me. It's all dried leaves on the floor, so every time something drops from there, it's really, really amplified. But there doesn't seem to be all going on down here.
As the night progressed, branches began snapping nearby, the wind intensified, and small items continued to fall around the tent.
Okay. Just leave, right? Must be just leaves. Doesn't sound like leaves though. Sounds like pellet gunshots.
Gaz had even checked earlier for dangerous trees, but it still didn't feel right. Both he and Fendi were on edge.
Fendi.
Then came the part that pushed everything over the line. He heard movement, something big enough to make him stop talking and listen. It was not the wind, not a squirrel, but something else.
I don't know if it's just branches or twigs falling out of trees, but
Chilling
I
down my
keep
spine.
hearing breaking.
Okay. Okay, I'll zip that.
Fendi
tab.
shivered at his side, and the torch kept cutting out. With every flicker, something moved just beyond the light, and Gaz knew he wasn't alone.
Yep. Yep. Sit up. Ready to run. Get ready to run.
I think it's just wind. Let's pick it back up again.
It's just a win.
So
It's not just a win, buddy.
I hope there's no widow makers falling us. That'd be no good, would it, mate? Oh, dear. Look at this pillow. Oh, fuck! Fucking hell.
Okay, so we just
Fendi!
ran
Fendi.
into the woods.
Come here, mate.
While speaking to the camera, something came up from behind, pressing down on his tent, forcing both him and Fendi to flee the spot immediately.
Not Fendi.
For a while, he waited things out, and only when he couldn't see or hear anybody by the campsite, he rushed back to quickly retrieve his things. The next day, he described suddenly hearing the shouting of multiple men, not just one, from deeper in the woods.
My sleeping bag and everything, and got that in my backpack. Then I heard loads and loads of screaming, like shouting from men, and it sounded like there were about 20 or 30 of them. And then they all
30?
started running, and it sounded like they were
around
coming
you?
towards tent, so I just grabbed my bag and off skis, because my keys were in my bag.
They were loud, angry, and a lot of them. It sounded like a group running through the woods coming toward the area where he'd been camping. At that point, Gaz didn't wait around. He grabbed his bag with his keys and got out of there as fast as possible,
though.
leaving his tent and a few bits
So
behind.
eerie.
When he came back the next day, the tent was ripped, his gear had been kicked around, and it was clear whoever had been out there didn't want him coming back.
Oh, look at my tent. I had to leave my tent here because I just wanted to get out of there. And a few other bits as well that I left. Look at the state of it. Oh, come on, mate. Snap my poles and that.
So they broke his tent.
Sleep, Matt.
Well, that's not really big of worries because
Where's my
at least you're.
cook
Ow.
kit? My cook kit were over here somewhere. Don't mind people
like the
scaring you
danger
and
and
stuff out of woods, but when they're just going to break stuff as well, what's the point in that? Huh? Oh, it's got rips in that fly sheet as well, look at that.
Wow. Destroyed his tent.
Gaz has been in the woods plenty of times, through all sorts of weather and wildlife, but this night stuck out for a different reason. Because sometimes it's not nature that scares you out of the forest. Sometimes
not
it's
just
people.
nature.
Brendan Explores is a channel built on mellow adventures with good food and beverages and quiet landscapes. March 19th, 2024, however, took a turn he definitely wasn't expecting. The trouble actually started before the adventure even got going. The night was freezing, boy racers were tearing through the area, and motorhomes kept coming and going well past midnight. Brendan spent the night half asleep, half shivering, just waiting for the sun to warm the van up. Morning at least looked peaceful with frost on the roof, a steady sunrise, and a quiet moment to breathe.
Beautiful.
Things started off normal enough. Brendan
Okay.
got the breakfast
Like a
cooked,
normal
gear packed, and had a few laughs with Steve.
Hike so far.
Then off they went toward the B-52 crash site. But the trail had other ideas.
Well, you can definitely tell we're getting higher. There's a little bit of snow on the peaks here. I dare say it, and this is not, I repeat not, for dramatic effect, but we haven't seen another sign yet. We saw the one sign at the very start of the trail. We're slipping and sliding everywhere. Hopefully we get another sign so we can... Give me a sign!
There were icy corners, deep mud,
me a
soaked
sign.
shoes, and miles of tough walking still ahead. Even the experienced hikers they met along the way warned that it was a long haul in those conditions. Eventually, Brendan decided to call it.
With the temperatures being sub-zero right now, even though the sun's shining, it is a cold day. I've now got wet feet. I know from previous
Is he doing
experience,
that, like,
from doing
during
various
winter?
different things in my
That would
youth,
suck. Like, you
that
should do
carrying
that
on
during
a
winter,
sub-zero
like
walk
summer.
across treacherous ground with wet feet with at least 3 or 4 miles to go, would be a pretty silly decision for my health. So it's not very often I turn back, but on this occasion, I didn't feel safe going forward, and I think you have to be honest with yourself and actually look at what's going to come if things go wrong.
Sometimes turning back is the smartest move, even if it feels like giving up. The rest of the day slowed down again. Brendan wandered through Bakewell, grabbed pastries, filmed a bit, then drove out to a quiet hillside spot to camp. It was the kind of place that promised a calm night with nothing to worry about. But once darkness fell, everything changed. Just as Brendan was settling in, something smacked the top of his partner's van, and the noise outside was loud enough to jolt him upright.
Someone was just outside the van. Oh. You alright, mate?
Yeah. And there's a car. Did you have it as well?
Yeah.
Like a.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you, mate. There's a car pissing about up there. It must have been.
It happened to like 3 cars, maybe more. So I'm guessing it might just be like a person messing around, or it can be like an actual like serious decision. But this is the most disturbing camping encounters, so it definitely is a person that's not messing around.
By the van. I don't know what he's doing up there. He's the one
Hang on.
worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, hang on.
Well, he's got something to say.
Very cold.
What time is it?
You stay away from my van.
Honestly, when I heard that car go past, what were they doing?
I don't know, but we've got somebody up there who's got a big spotlight on. he's our problem, because he's just driving backwards and forwards. If you look, he's definitely got a light on there. He's sitting up there. Is there someone up there?
That scared the living daylights out of me.
Wow, I just banged my roof, I did, didn't I?
Jesus.
Minutes later, a small van crept past, then a Land Rover, both silent, circling the area like they were checking something out. Then headlights appeared on the ridge, a vehicle sitting on the hill above them, engine off, lights pointed straight down at their camp, not moving or leaving, just watching.
So what are they playing at up there then?
Is that light up there?
It's just stalking us.
It's if it's sitting up there with the headlights on.
Drive
I'm
away.
trying to figure out what I'm looking
Drive
at.
away.
You?
Yeah, like whether it's a vehicle or not. Well, it's definitely a vehicle because I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it. It was a little like Ford Connect van.
Well, why is he just stood there or
That's what I'm trying
sat
to
there
work
like
out,
stalking?
mate. If you stand here, right, you can just see one line. If I move to it looks like there's 2.
When it finally left, Brendan launched his drone to check out the hillside. But instead of answers, he found something even stranger.
Instead of answers, he found questions.
Apologies if you guys can't really see much because of how dark it is, but there's definitely something or someone at the brow of that hill. Look with your naked eye at the top of that hill.
Yeah. See, it's picking up something.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, it's a fire. Look at the heat off. Look at the glow off it.
What the hell are they doing setting fires at this time of night?
It was quite a big fire, that was, because it showed up, didn't it?
Car's gone past
big
twice.
What, so we have 2 vehicles.
A fire.
Yeah.
What
did you say? One was a van?
One was a van, definitely a little van,
Yeah.
and the other was
Land Rover.
yeah, that.
It was a large fire burning in the middle of nowhere, with no sign of who was there or what had happened. Despite the chilling events, the 2 stayed the night, neither of them feeling comfortable.
My question is, why would you stay the night? Just dip. Just leave. I would not stay the night.
Steve kept checking outside his van while Brendan tried to relax, with the heater running on max effort, just waiting for morning. And what was supposed to be a quiet night in a peaceful spot turned into one of the most unsettling camps he'd ever filmed. The northwest wind run by Sam is usually about quiet stealth missions, fall colors, and slipping into places most people overlook. But his late-season corn maze camp didn't stay quiet for long. It was October 26th, 2023.
Ooh, that was recent.
On this day, Sam had found his way in the corn maze from the woods, ducking through thick brush and mud, just to reach the site without being seen.
I've been bushwhacking for a few minutes. It's right up over this hill.
Okay, so we're just trying to get over.
Trying not to get my feet wet, but it's mud butt brooks back here. I gotta find a better way in.
Once he slipped between the tall stalks, the place felt different and strangely tense. Every step rustled, and each gust of wind made the corn sway, like something was moving just out of sight.
That'd be so scary. Oh yeah, no, that's terrifying.
It is kind of spooky in here, not gonna lie.
Someone can just run out to you like
Sorry
that.
if I'm talking quiet.
Like,
I just
boom.
don't want anybody to know that I'm in here at all. The maze is closed today, so I'm not supposed to be in the maze. That's why I came today.
Plus, with people visiting the nearby overlook all day,
Why would you come on the day
Sam
that's
knew
not
he
allowed?
had to stay low and quiet. Even while scouting for a hidden spot, he could hear voices drifting in from the edges of the field.
Yes, you hear people back there? I hope the camera could pick that up. You probably could. I just need to get to my spot and
Quads buzzed in the distance, and someone's dog barked. The maze was closed, so that meant anyone who spotted movement inside would know something wasn't right. But when night settled and the maze went fully dark,
That's
things
so scary.
escalated fast.
That's so eerie.
somebody coming on a quad or a side-by-side.
So terrifying.
There's somebody over here on a quad. Oh, shit.
I'm guessing it's rolling up on him.
That was literally 10 feet from me. Hang on.
Is it getting closer?
They're literally like right there.
Engines passed far too close while flashlights flicked through the rows, only a few yards away. Sam realized the part he had missed during planning was that the owners of the farm didn't just work the land. They actually lived right beside the maze.
Okay.
I
so
keep
they
hearing
might
people very close by, and those side-by-sides and machines have
You
went
know.
by
find them.
several times. I looked at the Google map again. The people that own this farm, their house is actually here. It's not just farmhands that are here. The people that own and live on this farm are actually 100 yards away. So I'm gonna bail, because the last thing I want is to get shot or be seen out here in the middle of the night and people wonder what the hell's going on their property. That's a really easy way to get killed, because I hear
Yeah,
people talking and
that's
they're not
smart.
far away.
That's smart.
I looked at the map and yeah, their house is literally right there. It's just not worth the risk. Those are flashlights. I can't film now because the screens are on.
Their home, porch, and yard were only about 100 yards from where he was planning to camp. The quad
that's so
circled
close.
again, closer this time, voices and lights creeping in. Suddenly, this turned from simple stealth camping into a mission of avoiding looking like some intruder sneaking around a family's property at night.
They're roaming around here for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm in here or not, but I'm not taking the risk. I knew this place was commercial, but I didn't realize their house was right there. There's a big row of trees. The house is right behind it. They got a pool, a tennis
That's not
court.
a
They're
good
rich.
idea.
I did not know they
At
lived
all.
here, and I'm not gonna get caught in their backyard.
True.
That's a good way to get shot. They're close. They're really close.
That's so true. Easy
I'm
for you to
literally
get,
shaking.
you know.
I'm not scared of getting caught. I'm scared of getting caught by homeowners in the middle of the night, so I just gotta get out of here. I think they're looking for me. I promise you I didn't plan this to end up like this. Oh crap, that's the side-by-side. That's the side-by-side, it's close. I gotta get the hell out of here now.
One wrong move, a simple misunderstanding, and it could get very ugly. Therefore, Sam decided to cut his losses.
Alright, I'm out of the cornfield, but now I gotta cross a road and go back into the woods. There's lights on back there.
At least he's out of the cornfield.
Do you hear them in the background? I just gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay, so
They're still going around the property. I'm in the woods. Okay, they're coming down here again. I don't know why this, okay, hang on. I think I'm technically off their property now. Okay. But it's pitch black and I'm in the woods. And yeah, their back porch is right at the corner of that corn maze. I kind of want to show you on the Google map, but if I show you on the Google map, then it's going to be giving away where I was. I'm just not comfortable sleeping in somebody's backyard. If it were me and I saw somebody in my backyard with a flashlight late at night, I'd be outside with a weapon and it would not, I'm not going to puff my chest. It just wouldn't end well. It wouldn't be a good situation. End well. Someone's on your property in the middle of the night and you don't know what they're doing.
With a racing heart, he timed his steps with the wind, pushed through the corn, and slipped back into the woods.
I gotta cross this creek, try and get across these logs. I'm like thick in it. I'm deep in it right now. I had to turn it on because I don't know where I'm going. Ow. Oh, I just nutted myself. Oh my God. I fell on this log. Oh, I just nutted myself.
A creek to cross, a log that gave way under him, a long walk in the dark. None of it mattered as much as getting out without being seen. By the time he hit the road, he was all muddy, bruised, and frustrated with himself. He'd call it a miss, learn from it, and move on. But a corn maze? That one definitely left its mark.
Definitely.
Bushman in Blue, run by Al, is normally a channel documenting calm wild camps, tough weather, and the simple joy of being out with his dog Blue. Okay. But on March 7th, 2022, his winter summit camp in the Lake District pushed things far beyond anything he expected. His plan was straightforward. Just hike up Blencathra, enjoy a snowy summit, set up the tent, crack open a couple of beers, and watch the sunset. And at first it felt like one of those perfect winter overnighters.
Yep.
Look at this. It's a steep climb to get to this point, but already you can just see all the mountains in the background, all snow covered. And look at this sun just pouring through the clouds there. Just fantastic.
There was powdery snow, clear views, and nothing but open sky ahead. But the mountain changed fast. As night came, temperatures dropped deep below freezing.
Oh, it's chilly. It's a cold one. But nice to get that mat up. And now I'm sat on that. That makes a hell of a difference. Whew, so next job, I'm going to get all my hot gear on to keep me warm.
Wind chill cut through his every layer. Also, the tent shook, snow drifted inside, and visibility dropped to almost nothing.
Well, it's getting a bit flappy in here. There's gusts coming through that are really almost annihilating this tent.
Most of these are like British people. I'm not trying to hate on British people. Like, British people are really cool. But like, most of these happen to British people.
So hopefully we can stand strong till the morning.
Still, Al and Blue settled in, trusting their gear and waiting out the gusts. But then the real danger hit. A sudden warm weather front pushed in overnight, bringing rain, rising temperatures, and rapid melt.
Well, the wind isn't the problem anymore. I need a paddle. Look at this.
What the heck? How did it get that windy? And why is there water?
What the hell am I going to do now?
So eerie. There's water in the tent. What the heck happened? Oh yeah, you're done. It's wraps. Guessing the snow melted.
Within minutes, everything around the tent turned into flowing water. The ground beneath him softened, meltwater pooled, then poured, and before long, Al realized the unthinkable. He was camping in the middle of a forming river. Water pushed into the tent from every direction.
Oh yeah, you're definitely...
There's just water everywhere, like 3 inches all the way around everywhere.
If you don't get out of there, you're gonna be in the river soon.
The bathtub floor flattened under the pressure, letting water surge inside. His gear got soaked, the tent poles strained, and both Al and Blue huddled together on the sleeping mat, which was the only thing keeping them out of the freezing water. Outside, winds were hammering the tent so hard that one pole eventually snapped. Now, hypothermia wasn't just a possibility. It was close. If the mat failed, if the tent collapsed fully, or if the temperature would drop even further, things could have gone very differently. So Al did the only thing he could. He waited for the faintest hint of daylight, geared up inside the flooded tent, shoved everything into his backpack, and fought his way out into the storm. It was a brutal climb down, with wind,
Definitely
rain,
brutal.
slush, and zero comfort. But it was safer than staying put, which says a lot. By the time he reached lower ground, he was soaked, exhausted, and completely drained. Both Al and Blue made it down to safety, but the outcome could have been much worse. And that's all for today. These stories show that even the quietest campsites aren't always safe, and the woods aren't always empty.
Anyways, guys, if you liked that video, hit the subscribe, like, notifications button, and peace out.